We have to see that there are a lot of parties actually who very strongly stand up and have stood up for a long time against anti-Semitism. So, of course, yes, we see with great worry the populism that is there, and the right-wing extremism as well. But on the other side, one should not neglect the fact that there are also a lot of forces who stand up for the rights of everyone to live in a free society, in a liberal democracy, and to fight anti-Semitism and also other forms of intolerances and of racism. So it's very important to recognize that also with regards, for example, to the elections yesterday in France, that there are those who say, enough is enough. We are going to stand up for democracy, for equality, for our values, and this is where we want to go. We have similarities among Muslim hatred against Muslims and anti-Semitism, but also differences. When you're attacked because you wear a kippah, when you're spat at, or when you get a punch in your face, because you wear a kippah or you wear a scarf, then the effect and the fear is the same. But of course we have to recognize that anti-Semitism is this age-old form of racism that has been there for so many centuries. How we fight it, we have to look at the legal aspects of it. For example, we have legislation against racism and xenophobia, which mentions specifically criminalizes Holocaust denial, inciting to hatred and violence. So this is a very specific piece in that legislation that is unique to us. And the perpetrators need to be brought to justice on the one side, but also the platforms that run the social media have to react and take things down. So we agreed a voluntary code of conduct with the big internet companies, Twitter, Facebook, Microsoft and YouTube, to within 24 hours revise and if necessarily take down illegal hate speech, so illegal according to European legislation, take it down and remove it. So they have to do this when it's flagged to them, and that's an important first step. We're currently monitoring with NGOs whether actually there is an improvement. We see a slight improvement when the when the flagging basically comes from organizations. There's little improvement at the moment when it's about individual flagging. But then it's also about the enforcement of legislation, and we have all the legislation there already. Hate crime is criminalized, so we have to bring the perpetrators before court. I know we have an enormous task in front of us. We will address these issues, and that there will be a future for Jews here in Europe, and that you will be able to live these lives as you want to live them. And it might seem at the moment a bit like a utopia, but this is the goal, and this is where we need to be, because fighting anti-Semitism is fighting for the very soul of Europe. Thank you very much.